Hello, welcome to this MediumGames match, TeamOkay versus Mort. I'm Shanahan.
I'm Fire and Ice.
And we're going to talk about these kingdoms and the games here. So I always jump to Cultist whenever I see Cultist. And think about, is there a way to just get a ton of Cultists and make your opponent suffer through the runes?
Yeah, it looks pretty good here. Especially with Villa, you don't have to worry about running out of actions.
Yeah, and you probably want to get the goat herd at some point. I mean, sometimes with Cultist, you want to open like silver just to hit Cultist really fast.
Yeah, here they have the coffer, right? So they can open Cultist.
Well, they can even open like Cultist silver or Cultist goat herd. And essentially put lost arts on Cultist. Although, as you said, with the Villa, it's not as necessary to do that. You can draw back around. Sometimes the Cultist deck struggles with +5, but we've got Ducat here, so that's potentially and fair. So there's lots of ways to get +5 and Villa.
Yeah, and Farmer's Market too.
Yeah, this seems like it'll be a very fast kingdom. I certainly could see playing with a hideout. You're going to have a lot of runes you want to be trashing. They both open with Cultist Goat Herd, which makes complete sense. And now we start to see what they do with the threes.
They both hit Cultist Goat Herd on their turn 3 hand too, so pretty symmetric so far.
Yeah, slight second player advantage there. Get to draw one extra card. End up actually triggering this smaller shuffle with the Goat Herd and Cultist in it, which is nice for TeamOkay. Mort's got to look through a full shuffle to find their good cards.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. Second player advantage.
Yeah, and we know that TeamOkay has essentially Cultist's silver Goat Herd on top of their deck for next turn. Mort has the awkward forehand. I would consider, a lot of things here. You get a hideout, you can get a Ducat, you can get another Goat Herd.
I like the hideout here, just for the consistent trashing. You'll always have at least a copper to trash.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me is if you're trashing coppers with hideout and then you play a Cultist, you're ending up with estates or you play the Cultist, you draw the hideout. And in the worst case, you want to play the Cultist, see an action, and then be able to buy a Villa to come out from it. But I think I agree. You're going to need to thin out those runes. You're going to have 5 runes in your deck pretty quickly, maybe more even. TeamOkay may get ahead here on the junking attack.
Yeah. On 5, you just keep getting Cultists in the meantime, right? There's no other option until the runes are gone.
Yeah. I mean, even once the runes are gone, it's good draw. It's essentially non-terminal draw. And you can put lost arts on it, although maybe it won't even be necessary here. Because that deck can support a Villa or 2. I think Mort needs to probably needs to get a hideout here. The other options, the Goat Herd is a little bit slow. The Ducat is a little bit slow.
Using hideout to trash Cultists in the late game might be interesting.
I think probably Forge would be better on the Cultists in the late game.
Yeah, I guess you just need to make the costs work out, which is require some planning ahead if you want to make things go smoothly.
I thought I had tracked TeamOkay's deck and thought the Goat Herd was coming up, but apparently I miscalculated that. Would you take a Villa here? I think I would take a Villa here to trash an estate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I take the Villa.
There's nothing you really want for 4. They just got another silver.
Yeah. Silver doesn't do that much here because I think the top priority should be to draw your deck and get some semblance of deck control. And you really, whoever does that first will have a big advantage going into the and then late game.
Yeah. Mort's actually pulling ahead here on the curse or the junking split, although I think TeamOkay's got the third cultist already, so they should, in theory, be able to line up some cultists soon. This is somewhat awkward, $8 here. You can do something like Villa Cultist.
Yeah, I think I like getting the free Villa here.
And it seems too early for Forge.
Villa Cultist looks good.
Forge is also nice with villas, because if you have extra villas around, you could forge 2 villas into a province. And you could forge a cultist and a silver into a province and draw a bunch of cards. Mort has pulled ahead on the drawing with the Goatherd. I think their Goatherd has drawn the last 2 times. We'll see there.
Yeah, Goatherd's an interesting one because there are times where it's better not to trash just to deny your opponent a turn. And
yeah,
I think playing it optimally requires keeping like close tabs on your opponent's shuffle.
Yeah. What do you think of that ducat there without a trash? I realize it's $2 is an awkward price point, but
yeah.
As I said, they
misread
it.
Do they only have $2 in their hand?
Yeah. They had Goatherd, 2 coppers, estate, and rune, I think.
Yeah. I think it's about as good as nothing.
Yeah, they're still they want to be drawing deck, and they're not close to doing that right now. So it's just an extra card they have to draw through. But we'll see. Like this turn, I would much rather have any other card in my deck than a ducat there. And TeamOkay has gotten the Lost Arts down. They can potentially play Survivors and then Villa and then Ruined Library, but that's pretty complicated. And they had a bad card on top anyways. So now Mort getting a really nice turn, able to draw a bunch of cards. The cultists in a chain. I like getting more cultists here. And this is the spot where I could see maybe spending a coffer to get cultist ducat.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
They're close to having Forge be good, but it seems like it's still a little bit, this is all their draw, and they've got, cards in the discard and cards left of the deck, so they're still quite a ways from actually drawing through full deck. There's logic to saving the coffer, and then with the 7 you just get Cultist Nothing or Cultist Pearl Diver. Probably don't want Pearl Diver actually at this point. And if we look at the trash, there's only 7 cards have been trashed, so trashing has gone fairly slowly, which I guess is expected when they're playing terminal draw cultists. TeamOkay, I think both of them could have trashed more if they'd bought a Villa. Certainly TeamOkay could have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a 1 turn earlier with the silver buy rather than the Villa.
Yeah. And there's the cost. I'm sort of thinking, I'm hitting my price points, which right now is just 5, and it's fairly easy to hit 5, so I'm going to give up a coffer now to get the ducat, which is a little bit better for my deck. But then again, plus buy is not hard to come by in this kingdom, so it might not be worth it.
On Villa boards, you can always just buy villas to get extra buys when you need them too.
Yeah, but you've got to be able to draw them back around again, I think is the problem here. Once the cultist pile is empty, that's the draw pretty much.
Yeah, so I think cultist Goatherd might be a consideration here. Yeah, just get extra trashing.
In theory, once they get a little bit more deck deck control, both of them, the goat herds will be drawing a couple. So once one person trashes 2, the other person will draw 2 and be able to trash 2, and then vice versa. And the decks can get thin actually pretty quickly with the trading goat herds. And this is the kind of kingdom where the goat herds may draw you cards all the way up until the very end of the game. So the goat herd can actually be a decent source of draw here.
Yeah.
They did pick up the Pearl Diver. I thought the Pearl Diver was worse than nothing because they could dead draw it with a cultist and not hit Villa that turn. That was what I was worried about.
Yeah. But yeah, if it shows up at the top of your deck, it's better than nothing for sure. Yeah, I think on average it's hard to say.
We'll see what Mort does. And again, I think probably at this point just wants to keep getting cultists. There is trashing down later in that shuffle. There's draw down in that shuffle, but I don't think there's a limit to the number of cultists I want here, unless the game is imminently about to end.
But yeah, I like getting the cultist.
You could pause and think here and say maybe you want to buy a Villa and then play Survivors or play Rune Library or something. It's not impossible that those are decent plays. I think here, you don't have enough money and stuff in your deck. It's not like you're going to play the Villa, play the Rune Library, and then kick off and draw deck and have a big turn after that. So I think just another cultist makes sense to me.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, once the cultists are gone, what happens afterwards?
I imagine they just move to provinces. One of them gets a gold maybe, or a forge. But I'm confused by Mort's Baker.
Yeah, me too.
They're not drawing well enough. They're not seeing all their cards, so that's confusing to me. But we'll see what they do here. That with 5, the cultists here. I mean, they're not great, but they are draw, and you're able to see more cards, and then you could get enough money to do something like buy a forge, or once the cultists are gone, maybe you can pick up a Baker or 2 for some payload. I also, of course, I think we both wanted hideouts here as just a way to trash plus action. And there's plenty of stuff to trash in every single one of these hands.
The cultist is almost like a lab with Villa on the board. Maybe even better because you can trash for benefit.
Yeah. Well, and TeamOkay has Lost Arts, so they are like labs here.
Oh yeah. TeamOkay's cultists are like strictly better than labs. Yeah, so they pick up. The TeamOkay seems to be in better shape now. I think they won the cultist split.
And Mort,
it's pretty close to even.
Coppers. You also know that from here that Mort's going to have a pretty sad next turn. It looks like.
Yeah. You buy Villa and play on here,
right? Yeah. Just knowing that your next turn is not going to be great, I think you want to draw those extra 2 cards through, and maybe you can find a goat herd or something. That will let you draw.
It's not bad.
Yeah, 5 is awkward here. I don't know if you want another Baker. I don't like the Lost Arts here because they have a bunch of villas already.
Yeah, 5 is a bit awkward.
They do seem to have done well. I was going to say they've done a decent job of thinning, but I think the next hand will show that all their junk stuff is in the next hand.
Yeah.
There's only 2 coppers in the trash, so yeah. I mean, I guess I could believe in Lost Arts on on cultist here for Mort.
I could also see picking up a hideout here. I think it still has value. You can forge it with a villa later too.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like either player is going to go for more goat herds, so there doesn't seem like there's a third pile of imminent danger of running. And TeamOkay probably isn't going to buy any more villas because they've got the Lost Arts already. So the villa pile, which sometimes goes away in a hurry, seems like it's stable. Now it's sort of who can transition to getting a payload in place and buying provinces faster.
Mm.
And I'm not really thinking about Bandit Camp at all. Because...
No, yeah. Bandit Camp is +2 actions, +3 coin, basically. And
yeah. So we're seeing a big turn here. TeamOkay able to trash a bunch of runes, which is going to help Mort a lot too. But
yeah,
I think I would get one forge here. And then
it might have saved Mort's turn actually with the goat herd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very likely did. Oh, nice. They can top deck the goat herd. They can play the villa.
Nice. Yeah. So they're going to draw a deck here. I think the cultist split 5-5 too.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why TeamOkay bought that Villa Baker there over... I thought Forge was the best and then Province was second best. It didn't really occur to me that someone would buy Villa Baker.
But I think one... So go ahead.
Thanks to the goat herd now, Mort's able to draw deck.
Yeah.
Hopefully TeamOkay can find their goat herd now and do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, I think one Baker was okay for TeamOkay because getting an extra coffer here and there is useful.
Yeah, they can gain and play Villa something if they want and draw it with the... So they could buy Baker Villa, then play Villa Rune Library and draw the Baker. I don't...
Yeah.
I'm not seeing how that's useful right now unless they want to do it with Forge. They could play Ducat, Copper, and then Forge 4 coppers into 1 or something. I'm not... That doesn't seem super useful here. But that's at least something that you have to consider with Villa on the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I also think they need to be wary that their goat herds drew 3 this turn, and that probably is not going to happen again. So they're sort of artificially overdrawing this exact 1 turn.
Yeah, so I think you pick up a Forge here for sure.
Yeah, so they have 11 and 4 coffers. I could see Forge here being really good. Forge and Hideout or Forge Baker.
Yeah, I think picking up doing the Villa trick with the Forge sort of makes sense here. They'll have at least 3 villas, and the villas can go pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, so that would be play a copper, buy Forge, buy Villa, play Villa Rune Library, and then Forge 4 coppers into 1.
Yeah.
And then next turn they're really thin, and they can... that will help TeamOkay draw deck if they find a goat herd, but they can claim that they're ahead because they've got the Forge first and they've got the 2 Bakers. And their deck's a little bit thinner.
I think that spot feels better to be in. Even if TeamOkay draws deck, it's worth trading off the Forge. Or playing the Forge this trade.
I'm thinking Forge to trash 4 coppers and use 4 coffers, if I'm doing the math right. Right, you're trashing 4 coppers, but you're gaining 1 back, so you're effectively on the cost. So, yeah, that's why I missed gun. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure because the cost seems pretty... You're spending a lot of coffers to trash 3 coppers, effectively. But you also, I mean, you can also just get a Forge here, get Forge Baker, Forge Hideout, or something into this deck. I like the Hideout a little bit better here than Villa for next turn, just because you do have stuff you can still trash, and you can, you know, it costs 4, so you can Forge Villa Hideout into Province pretty easily.
Yeah, that's true. Forge Hideout is valuable as well.
It's a tricky spot, even if you're not thinking about doing the gain and play. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, and this is sort of a big turn for Mort. They may not be able to draw deck again, depending on how many goat herds TeamOkay has. I guess though, if TeamOkay has a big turn here, then Mort's going to have a big turn next turn. If TeamOkay has a dud here, then Mort might have a dud.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I sort of like Misgun's Forge Hideout more, like the more I think about it now. Just because it slightly decreases the chance of TeamOkay having a good turn, and you still get your 4 cost and your Forge.
They've played an awkward number of coins. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do. I don't think the Baker is worth adding an extra villa to your deck. I mean, now I really want that Forge though.
Yes, for sure.
Because you want to get rid of those villas and the coppers still. And then later on, you could always Forge Cultist Silver or Cultist Goat Herd into Province. Okay, so it does look like TeamOkay is going to have a big turn here. You don't actually have to trash the Ruined Library, I guess. This is a little bit sad that they bottom deck 2 cultists, but they got a lot of money, so I think they can do Villa Forge here as well.
Yes.
And then they're much more likely to draw next turn.
Yeah, this is the effect where when one player starts going for provinces, it's easy to get tunnel vision and green as well.
Yeah, on that turn, TeamOkay could have played the Ruined Library for plus card instead of trashing it to Goat Herd, and then gotten to see one more card through their deck, and maybe would have found those extra cultists and Villa.
Oh yeah, right.
So again, here we're seeing, you know, if Mort had 3 fewer coppers and 1 fewer province and a Forge, or even just if this province was a Forge, they could do something really nice here. They could Forge 2 coppers and a silver into something they want. And as it is, their sort of single province is not the best, I think, here. I think you could do a lot more with Forge. But it looks like TeamOkay is going to match that and just go for the provinces as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Stopper. That makes sense as well. Mort also has that Pearl Diver, so the gold increases in value if you have a Forge, because you can Forge the gold and the Pearl Diver into a province.
Yeah, Mort has the Ducat as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's another piece that they can Forge. I think here what I'm thinking of is once I get my Forge online, I spend 1 turn getting real clean, and then the next 2 turns I can buy a province and then cannibalize engine pieces for province because I'm so clean.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or if you're ever ahead, you can just threaten to pile villas.
Yeah. Or pile or mill provinces and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah.
I assume as Mort here, you play this Ruined Library and hope to draw. That would be, you know, you have a whole bunch of cultists in your deck, so you want to try to find them. Although they had a bunch last turn. They opted not to trash a copper, which is a little bit odd to me. I really want to be trashing my coppers. And again, they're able to hit province here, and I assume they're going to take it.
Yeah, the forge is still good here though.
Especially up one province, and your opponent's only ever threatening to buy one province a turn. So if you forge, you're threatening, even if only one time you gain 2 provinces in a turn, that's enough to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could also play very risky and go for. They're only 4 coins away from a goat herd pile out, to be honest. It seems unlikely they'll get there, but
Yeah.
like they could take, if they wanted to be risky, they could take a baker here, and threaten to pile out bakers next turn. But I think just the forge. If they don't get a forge, the province. Having a 2 province lead in a kingdom where your opponent seems to be building to a single province deck, strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as we saw, like they did draw the deck that one turn, but since then I don't think they have. So that's,
yeah,
I think,
getting 6. Yeah, they drew 6 more cards that turn from the goat herds.
I think that's supporting the forge gain and play line, as that does effectively thin a couple of cards from your deck, and you're able to not keep seeing these coppers again, and then you're drawing deck every turn, and you've got plenty
Baker pile. Yeah, the baker pile is lower than it should be right now.
Yeah, I probably would have skipped the baker, gotten a hideout at the first time I hit 5 and the cultist pile was empty. I could maybe see picking up 1 baker if I had exactly 5 coins and the hideout pile was empty. But once you get to forge,
okay, interesting.
Double goat herd. Okay, so they have seen that the goat herd pile is low, and they think that they can pile the goat herd pile before TeamOkay can score enough VP. And TeamOkay keeps passing up opportunities to trash coppers. It seems.
Well, to deny the goat herd draw.
Yeah, but it
So
it means they're going to have a tough time drawing next turn. Which is you want to be drawing your deck, and Mort here just needs to find 6 money to pile out. They need to find a couple plus buys. So unfortunately, they've got to buy a villa here. And so they're going to be short plus buys to pile out here. Did TeamOkay really not trash any cards? It seems you want to be trashing cards here. But
yeah, well, if they did trash cards, it was quite possible Mort has a win on this turn too.
Yeah, I think the deck I want to be playing, you have the forge already, so you don't care that your opponent's drawing deck, knowing that your deck does more because you've got the forge in it.
Yeah.
TeamOkay, I don't think drew deck that easily. I think it was somewhat close. They had 8 stop cards, and they're netting 5 draw cards with cultist. So, and they've got the goat herds, which drew last turn. So that's 3 less draw this turn than last turn. Now I think Mort just needs to buy a province and hope that TeamOkay doesn't find anything.
TeamOkay can be. Seems like they're in pretty good shape, actually. Ooh, they trashed the cultist.
For an extra +1 card. That seems pretty bad because it lets Mort draw a bunch of cards with their goat herds now. Mort played a goat herd last turn for no value. That was a mistake. I mean, it's very minor, but you don't want to show your opponent that you had the goat herd in hand.
Right, that's a information reveal.
Yeah,
I'm not sure tracking each other's decks well enough for that to matter.
Yeah, as I said, it's very minor, but just in practice, and I would even recommend for new players to play the goat herd because you draw, even if you're not going to trash, just in case you lost track of being able to draw. But
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
in a competitive game, like in a ladder game, I would always just play it because I wanted to. Maybe I didn't track the log correctly or something.
Yeah,
but yeah. So now here, I think as Mort, you don't want to trash at all.
Does Mort have a winless turn? Maybe they can.
Yeah, unfortunately, they need to get to double province, which it looks like they actually are.
They
one
can
short.
get triple goat herd, duchy, and estate is also 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's enough. Yeah.
But they have it in hand now.
Yeah.
So I think we agree. TeamOkay it was close. Mort seemed to be a little bit in the lead, but they're going for the swaggy pile out, I guess. If TeamOkay doesn't trash there, it's much closer.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so that was game 1 to Mort, and I will see you in game 2.